Our goal for today is reducing fractions to their simplest form. If you think back to Investigation 9, we learned that to reduce a fraction, we find an equivalent fraction written with smaller numbers. So, for instance, we can reduce 4/6 to 2/3. 2 and 3 are smaller numbers than 4 and 6. We reduce this by dividing by the largest number that goes into both 4 and 6. And if we factor out 4 and 6, we know that 4's factors are 4, 1, and then 2 times 2. 6's factors are 2, 3, 6, and 1. So the largest factor that they share is 2. So I can divide the top by 2 and the bottom by 2 to reduce this fraction. 4 divided by 2 would be 2, and 6 divided by 2 would be 3. Not all fractions can be reduced. In a fraction like 5/17, there are no factors that we could divide 5 and 17 by that both 5 and 17 share. So 5 is a prime number and only has 5 and 1 as a factor. 17 is also a prime number, so only 17 and 1 are its factors. They do share 1 as a factor, but if we divided both the top and the bottom by 1, we would just get the same fraction again. So not all fractions can be divided. Therefore, 5/17, it's already in its simplest form. Let's see if we can find the simplest form of each of these three fractions. So for this first fraction, 6/8, we have to find the largest number that will go into both 6 and 8, or in other words, the largest factor that 6 and 8 share. So if we think about 6's factors, we have 3, 2, 6, and 1. And 8 has 8, 1, 4, and 2. So the largest number that they share as a factor, or the largest number that goes into both 6 and 8, is 2. So therefore, we are going to take 6/8 and we're going to divide the top by 2 and divide the bottom by 2 to simplify. 6 divided by 2 would be 3, and 8 divided by 2 would be 4. So 3/4 is the simplified version of 6/8. These are equivalent fractions, and this fraction is now in simplest form. The next fraction that I had written was 3/6. Some of you can look at this fraction and automatically tell me what it is in simplest form, but we're going to go ahead and work it out. So we know that 3's factors are 3 and 1, and 6's factors are 3, 2, 6, and 1. So the largest number that would go into both 3 and 6 would be 3. So we have to divide the top by 3 and divide the bottom by 3. 3 divided by 3 would be 1, and 6 divided by 3 would be half, or 2, excuse me. So we know that 3/6 is equivalent to 1/2. 1/2 is the simplest form of 3/6. And then the final fraction I had written up was 6/7. Well, let's think about the factors for 6 and 7. For 6, we have 2, 3, 6, and 1. But 7, we know, is a prime number. So only 7 and 1 are factors of 7. Therefore, when we only share a 1, we know that this fraction is already in simplest form. So 6/7 is in simplest form already. Now I want you guys to try it. I want you to simplify 2/4, 2/6, and 3/9 to the simplest form. So make sure that you find the factors for each number, the numerator and the denominator, and then see which factor is the largest that both of them have in common. when you're finished with these 3 problems, show your marker boards to your teacher.